7 de la noche, 24 minutos, atención, fue asesinado el párroco de Marmato en Caldas, Reinel Restrepo. El crimen ocurrió en la vía entre Mistrató y Belén de Umbría, en Risaralda. El párroco encabezaba una campaña cívica para mantener a Marmato en su lugar ante la presión de empresas extractoras de oro que querían el traslado de la población. El párroco iba en un vehículo de servicio público y aún no hay información precisa.
In news from El Salvador, an environmental activist has been killed after speaking out against a mining project in a northern region. Juan Francisco Duran Ayala is the latest in a string of activists to be killed after denouncing the Canadian gold mining company.
He was a teacher and community leader who spoke out against forced evictions. His widow says he was grabbed by a group of mine security guards, hacked with a machete, and then shot point blank in the head. May 2011, Tanzania.
¿Qué haces? Sacándote del medio. A mí no me corta la luz, ¿sabes? Dale, giro.
For the second time in a week, a prominent anti-mining activist has been assassinated in El Salvador. 32-year-old Dora Alicia Resino Sorto was shot dead near her home. One of her children was also injured in the shootings.
A mining activist in Mexico named Betty Carino was killed when a heavily armed paramilitary group opened fire on her convoy in Oaxaca. Jiri Jaakkola, a human rights observer from Finland, was also killed in the attack.
Preocupa es la intencionalidad que hay detrás de quienes usan esas cámaras fotográficas. Lo que preocupa es que yo sé que nosotros tenemos o yo tengo una cámara fotográfica y ellos tienen una cámara fotográfica y un fusil detrás.
In December of 2004, a truck carrying a large piece of machinery was traveling across Guatemala. It came to a pedestrian bridge that crosses the highway, and the machinery it was carrying was so large the truck couldn't fit under the bridge. So it pulled to the side of the road where it sat for over a month, under armed guard. Eventually its purpose became known. It was going to be used to construct an open-pit gold mine in the northwestern part of the country. The local population say they were never consulted about the project, but the government granted permission to the mining company regardless. Many Guatemalans were furious and did not want the mine. Many people protested, attempting to block the operation. Hundreds of police and soldiers intervened. The afternoon erupted in violence. Government forces opened fire, injuring various people and killing one local farmer.
La gente de que no sigan con eso, que no sigan, que tengan mano, se pongan la mano en la conciencia, pues, que sean humanos ellos, o lo que están haciendo, porque eso no es cuestión de humanos, sino que es cosas de gente que no tiene, ¿cómo le quiero decir? Corazón, pues. Eso se puede decir psicópata, ¿va? Porque realmente le voy a hablar así, que eso es un terrorismo lo que ellos tienen para nosotros aquí. Eso es un terrorismo.
But what does it mean to you? What does it mean for the stability of your future?
In China's Fujian province, pollution from a mine owned by one of China's top gold producers has caused major contamination in a local river and reservoir. The leak has killed 4.2 million pounds of fish.
This sign in the Huasco Valley reads, "The thirst for gold will leave us without water."
Y hace 12 años se produjo una de las mayores catástrofes ecológicas de España.
West of Johannesburg, in the shadow of an old gold mine, Robinson Lake used to be a lively spot for boating and weekend picnics. The water now is useless to life of any kind.
Serious health problems have dramatically increased in the region since the mine began operation.
The Indonesian government believes Buyat Bay has been polluted with mercury and arsenic. For 8 years, the hills behind Buyat Bay filled Newmont's coffers with gold. That waste destroyed the reef, contaminated the fish, and poisoned the people who ate them.
But what does it mean to you? What does it mean for the stability of your future?
20 years ago, it would have been unthinkable to look for gold so high up here in the Andes Mountains.
Indeed, with the price of gold doubling in the past 5 years, finding new deposits has become the name of the game.
Vast treasure lies beneath these mountains in Argentina's
deposits worth an estimated $12 billion.
discovered by a satellite.
But with gold reserves dwindling all over the world, companies like Barrick Gold are being forced to go to the ends of the earth to extract it.
In Brazil with Corrida de Situ, we've got a couple of projects in Argentina, we've got some wonderful projects in Colombia.
Progressive Gold is now making prospecting viable in areas which until recently were either too remote or too dangerous. Colombia, of course.
In places like this, next to these glaciers, 5,000 meters above sea level in the mountains of Chile.
En medio de un intrincado y frágil ecosistema que filtra y almacena el agua de manera natural.
In the process of developing an open pit alongside our existing underground operations in Brazil.
Chile y Argentina. Allí se encuentran desde la noche de los tiempos 3 inmensos glaciares en cuyo vientre hay enormes reservas de oro, pero la presencia de los glaciares dificulta esos trabajos. Por eso pensaron en fracturar y en trasladar los inmensos bloques de hielo.
En este valle el producto agrícola estrella es la uva. Las mejores se venden a Estados Unidos, Japón y Europa. Para obtener 1 gramo de oro hay que sacar 50 toneladas de roca. Para obtener 1 gramo de oro hay que sacar 50 toneladas de roca.
We're also developing a project in Peru.
Well, I guess the concept is excellent. We can get the gold whenever and wherever we want.
Several times, highly toxic waste leaked into the river that goes into La Serena's water supply. But there were benefits too.
A little more than a day after being mined, the gold is melted and poured into molds. Each one weighs about 70 pounds. That makes each bar worth a little less than $1 million at today's prices.
Es una manera muy dura de ganarse la vida. Pero para estos mineros, el precio del oro vale la pena.
The results have been very encouraging, a record. Our margins are a record. We're making very good cash flows.
It's very, very high grade. We're averaging about 20 grams per ton.
Finished the quarter with over $228 million in cash.
Good time for us to be in the gold and silver business and to be expanding in that business.
A world-class team who is fully committed to gold. A piece of gold is only worth something when it comes out of the ground.
But what does it mean to you? What does it mean for the stability of your future?
Our focus is to take it out in such a way that sustainably benefits all those connected to it.